Hi, everybody. I'm Melinda Emerson, the small biz lady, and welcome to Small Biz Chat Live, our first show of the new year. I'm so excited to be back. We have an amazing show for you guys tonight. Small Biz Chat Live is a peer to peer interview show that gives small business owners a way to get advice that they need but might not know, and maybe not today, might not be able to afford. But the mission of Small Biz Chat is to end small business failure. And tonight's video broadcast features three live guests, and we're broadcasting from my Small Biz Lady Facebook page, my Small Biz Lady YouTube channel, and we can't forget my Twitter peeps. We love my Twitter folks. We are live on Periscope on Twitter as well. And as soon as they give me LinkedIn Live, we'll be live there too. But I'm not trying to hate, but I'm just saying. So listen, on Small Biz Chat Live, our goal is to give our small business audience an opportunity to hear sage advice from multiple angles to take your business and your life to the next level. And tonight's show, we have some amazing guests. First up, we're going to have digital marketing expert Naly Rice. She's going to be here telling you how you might be able to tweak your brand for 2020. We're also going to be talking to financial advisor Carole Hodges, and she's going to talk to us about retirement. Like, you're a small business owner, you need to be thinking about that too. And last but certainly not least, we're going to be talking to peak performance expert Delatorro McNeal II, and he is going to talk to us about how to maximize our productivity going into the new year. So listen, I can't wait to give you guys all of this great insight. And with that, I'm just really excited to introduce you all to my very first guest, Miss Naly Rice. Naly is the founder and CEO of the LN Creative Group. They are a technology marketing as a service company with clients in the technology, healthcare, nonprofit, and government sector. Naly, I am so excited to have you here with me tonight. And we're going to be talking about refreshing your small business brand in 2020. So, Naly, welcome to Small Biz Chat Live.
Hi, Melinda. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here with you. I met you, I guess, a year or two ago when we shared the stage at a big event for Score. So I'm so excited to be able to bring you back on here and have my audience learn about how awesome you are. So now we're talking about refreshing a brand. I know that a full-on rebrand takes a lot of time and effort and resources, and a small business might not have the budget, frankly, or the bandwidth for that kind of undertaking. But Nelly, you say that it's possible for like a smaller scale brand update, maybe refreshing your images, like across your digital platforms and stuff like that. So let's jump into it. Why do you think it's so important for a small business to really pay attention to their brand? Shouldn't they really be paying attention to sales? Like what? Why is your brand so important to a small business?
That's a great question, Melinda. And, the thing that small businesses have to understand is that the branding can help them the branding can help make them look bigger as they're going out and competing with these big companies. So if they don't have the budget to redo their entire brand, what they can do is change their color palette, color grade their photos. They can change the messaging a little bit, but there are small ways that they can take little footsteps instead of doing the whole rebrand, because that can take a long time and it is very costly.
Well, when is the right time to refresh your brand? Is it like new year, new brand? Like, when is it the right time to sort of start looking at things and tweaking?
That's a great question. And there are no hard and fast rules anymore for doing that. It used to be that if you had your brand over a number of years, then you would refresh. But now there are some brands that go on, like legacy brands and heritage brands. But anytime I would say that your sales start to get affected, that you start to notice a smaller number of inbound leads, if you start to notice people not coming to your website as much, those are times when you want to sit back and say, do I need to redo my brand, or is my messaging on point?
That's an incredibly good insight. So you're saying, like, if your sales are not what they used to be, perhaps it's time to refresh and reinvent a little bit. So that's what you're
Exactly.
saying. Okay. All right. So what are some of the minor ways that people might be able to refresh their brand without, like, changing their whole logo or something like that? What are some of the things that they could do?
Yeah, they can definitely change their color scheme. They can change their photos. In fact, photos and changing the visuals is something that is can really completely change a brand. Going out and finding higher quality stock photos is something that is readily available and free online now. It can really make a big difference and help you communicate your message without saying it, basically.
Mm-hmm. Well, what about like if you do want to change your logo? What is a realistic time frame for that? Like what should you be expecting if you decide, okay, you know what, the logo is the problem? Like what kind of time frame and what kind of budget like do they need to be kind of prepared for?
Yeah, the budget can range. I mean, there are so many marketing companies now and creative agencies that create logos, but typically you should look at redoing a logo timeline being a month or two. I've seen some that have gone on as long as 2 or 3 months, and that's because there's a lot more technical stuff involved in the logo. There's more custom drawings and sketching that have to be turned into digital files. But typically you can look at 1 or 2 months.
Okay. And budget-wise, what kind of range should we be prepared for?
Oh goodness, it can definitely range. I would say the average for a logo could be anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000. Um,
Okay.
and I've seen some logos that are really expensive. You know, some websites that are really expensive. It just depends on you and the company that you go to. So definitely shop around. You know, be smart about it.
Mm-hmm. But what about those companies, like 99 Designs, like or Fiverr or something like that? I mean, is that if you have nothing and you're like just getting started and trying to get a little something going, like is that is that a no no, or like can we do that?
No, you can, but I would say be very cautious just because one, you want to make sure that you're getting your logo made from a reputable person so that you own all the rights to that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to get stuck in a situation where you paid $5 for something and then a couple months down the line you realize, oh, that person took it all off online and now I'm in trouble. So you
Yeah.
definitely want to be careful about that. But I'd say if you're in a really tight bind, there are websites like Upwork where you can actually go and find freelancers and they can do a number of things and for a number of budgets actually. It's 2020, so the gig economy is an
It's all.
entrepreneur's dream.
Yeah, yeah. 43% of our economy now is gig workers. So yeah, folk are looking for work and folk are willing to wheel and deal. So yeah, definitely. So let's talk about if you want to keep your brand aligned, specifically um your social stuff. Like what I see a lot of people do, like their website will look one way and like their Twitter background or their LinkedIn background will be like totally different stuff. So what should you do to like make sure that you're consistent, kind of everywhere?
Yeah, and that's where the branding comes in because when you brand yourself, you should create a brand guide. And that brand guide has the fonts you want to use, the colors, the placement, and whatnot. And if you're really smart, good tip, go ahead and create all the templates so that whenever it comes time to posting on social media, you can just pull from one of those templates, recycle it, and change the photo. That way it stays consistent all the time.
Now I've seen some folks on Instagram, and there's some people whose Instagrams look like amazing, and there's people like me who Instagrams look random because I have like beautiful things that my social media team posts, and then I post a picture of my son, or me at a restaurant that I really like or something like that. So are there some tools out there that can help your brand stay consistent on some of the social platforms?
Yeah, one of my favorite is Canva, and it's affordable. They already come pre-made with a lot of templates. It's really easy for you to add your own fonts and logos in there, so that's really nice. There's also PicMonkey if you're on a budget, and if you're a small to medium-sized company with a little bit more bandwidth, then using something like an Adobe Creative Cloud would be really nice because you get a lot more tools and a lot more features.
Okay, good. Those are great tools. And you've already said, like, you need to be having a brand guideline. Like, you don't want to be, trying to figure out what your fonts are and stuff like that. So that's what you were saying about, just using some random, Fiverr person or whatever, you got to make sure you get your vector art. You got to make sure you know what font they use, and the exact colors that they use, right? So that it can be
Exactly.
duplicated over and over again. Um, one of the things that I've heard a lot of people talk about are, in terms of branding or rebranding these days, are sort of like video, visuals, voice marketing. Those are like the three V's that are out here that I keep hearing people talk about. So can you tell me, like, those buzzwords, what are they, what are you thinking in terms of like using those elements to rebrand yourself as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Visuals and voice are really the top, in my opinion, for 2020 and beyond. It used to be all about blogging. It used to be all about getting a lot of content out there, even small content. Now it's all about visuals. And part of that is making sure that your branding is not just on social media, but also blending into your videos, and using the right theme songs, using the right colors, and making sure that everything just matches and is cohesive. That's really the trick to branding and building that entire seamless experience. Is I go to the website and it's the same, go to social media and it's the same, I'll go to watch their videos and it's all the same branded. So that's how you really make a consistent brand.
Okay, and what about voice marketing? Like, I know, like, everybody's talking to Alexa and Siri and all this kind of stuff. I mean, do you see people, leveraging voice marketing yet, or is that still something that's still kind of nascent?
I think that it is still kind of nascent. I think when it comes to voice, I see a lot more clients nowadays asking if, hey, should we do a podcast? Hey, should we do a video series? Even a webinar series, So there are other ways to incorporate it. I've also seen people recording uh, messages basically that they put on their website. And whenever you click on it, it says, hey, welcome to my website. So there are a number of ways that you can add voice to your brand.
Mm-hmm. But that's a tool you think is useful, because I think sometimes there's too much. Like, I know sometimes when I go to people's websites, I want to look around and look at stuff. I don't want to hear them talking at me. But I'm a Generation Xer. Maybe that's like just me. Like, should you have autoplay things and things like this on a website, or is it like, don't do that?
I still wouldn't do that. I mean, it reminds me of the 90s when you go on a website, it's all dark and the snow is falling down and they have rainbows and stuff. Yeah. You don't want to do those. Angel Fire days are done, but you can definitely still keep it on there. There are ways. What you want to do is you want to streamline it. And again, you want to think about the strategy, right? What
Mm-hmm.
do I want people to do? What do I want them to get from coming to my website? And then use the voice and the visuals there effectively to help drive your message home, whether it's selling a product, selling a course, your accountant, your healthcare company, etc.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, listen, thank you so much, Nally. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about brand experience. So it's not just about what your brand looks like, it's about how you make your customers feel. I'm Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady. You are watching Small Biz Chat Live, and we will be right back. Hi, I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady. I know you might be thinking about quitting your business and going back into corporate America. But wait, before you give up, my new book, Fix Your Business, could give you a whole new lease on life. My 12 P's of running a successful business will walk you through step by step how to grow your business revenue, how to hire great people, and streamline your processes, and so much more. Grab a copy today of Fix Your Business and get your life back. Welcome back to Small Biz Chat Live. I'm talking with Naly Rice. She's a digital marketing expert, and we're talking about refreshing your brand in 2020. So, back to you, Naly. I want to ask you about the concept of brand experience. As a small business owner, maybe I sell professional service. I mean, obviously, if you are a retail business, people walking in your store, you want them to have a brand experience. But as a professional service business or an e-commerce business, let's say, how can I give my customers a really good brand experience?
And that's a great question. And one of the first things about understanding what brand experience is understanding that it's just a bunch of touch points all into one that make a cohesive experience. So whenever people start working on experience, we say work on one thing first, whether that's your greeting on your phone or refreshing the website or doing social media. But ultimately, what you want to do is connect all those dots, and those dots all together equal the brand experience, basically. So just think about the way we shop. I'll go to the store, I'll research online first before I go, and then afterwards I purchase. They'll send me an email, and sometimes I'll get a booklet. That's brand experience, just following through and nurturing folks. And what happens when you don't get it? That's when you're like, oh, this store is kind of okay. They don't really have their stuff together. So we get hit with experiences and digital experiences so much that we don't realize it until we don't get it, right? And then all we can notice is, it wasn't that great of a product, or it wasn't that great of a store.
I get it. So let's say I refreshed my brand. How do I make it news, or how do I really get the word out that I've got something shiny and new over on, my blog or my website?
Yeah, my first tip is go straight to your current clients. Go to your current clients first, get your employees to share it, write a press release, share it with the journalists that are within your industry. That's a really great way to go about it. Get all your employees to change over to the new branding, change over all your social media. It requires it's a huge effort to change all that, but it's worth it in the end.
And then, should I start with just one or two platforms if I'm changing stuff, or is it like change everything?
Yeah, I would start with one or two first, but eventually you do want to change everything. Some companies, what they actually do is they'll pre-prep and they'll prepare the change over for everything, their social media and their website, and their videos and whatnot. And then as soon as that press release goes out, they turn on that button and everything just switches over. And that's a very coordinated effort, but it takes a lot of planning.
Okay. All right. And then what is the best branding advice like you could really give someone right now? Like if they're like, oh my God, like if they just sat here and listened to us and they are overwhelmed, like what is the best branding advice you can give them about getting started?
Take one foot in front of the other. Just you have to
Like when, updating your headshot on all your social platforms and stuff like that, or maybe on your website, is that something that you could start there, like just getting a new headshot for yourself, for your business?
Yeah, sure. Get a headshot, but if you're getting a headshot, make sure you're wearing your brand colors. That's one way to, really incorporate that brand. I'm very dedicated to the brand. So definitely before you push anything out, before you wear anything, you have to really embody your brand as a CEO. So it's really important to do that.
I love it. I love it. Well, Natalie, thank you so much. We want you to hang tight because we're going to bring you back at the end so we can have our famous hit it or quit it panel. But thank you so much for the information that you've shared. We're going to be talking next with, we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to be talking about planning for your retirement. If you want to learn how to position yourself to one day sell your business or just to be able to retire, you don't want to miss what we have to say. You're watching SmallBizChat Live, and we will be right back.
My new book, Fix Your Business, is really about encouraging people to take back control of their business and change how their businesses is run. It's not okay to skip paychecks. It's not okay to never feel like you can take a vacation. And it's also not okay to not know how much profit you've made in your business until your taxes are done. I really want business owners to stop letting their businesses be runaway trains. I've written this book to teach people processes and systems to help them run their businesses intentionally. My goal is to help existing entrepreneurs create a business that allows them to live their dream life.
Welcome back to Small Biz Chat Live. I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady, America's #1 small business expert. And I'm so excited to be here with you tonight on Small Biz Chat Live. We are now going to be talking with, my audience live on my Facebook fan page. We're talking live on YouTube, my YouTube channel right now. And of course, we can't forget about my Twitter peeps. So we are talking on live on Twitter as well via Periscope. And now it's time for me to talk about my next guest, Miss Carole Hodges. Carole is the author of Menopause Millionaire, but she is also a menopause millionaire. So she's going to be talking to us about how she shifted from a business coach to a financial expert after seeing the roadblocks of retirement, which are experienced by so many business owners, especially women. She believes that menopause is not only a physical change, but it's a wake up call. This midlife change. It gives us an opportunity to look at everything: our finances, our health, our relationships, and our life purpose. And it's really interesting. So I'm really excited to have Carole with us. And another thing that I wanted you guys to think about, according to CNBC, 34% of entrepreneurs have no retirement savings plan in place. And the top reason is insufficient income from their businesses. Carole is here. She's going to be giving us advice on how to make better personal financial choices so that we can build up a retirement fund. Carole, welcome to Small Biz Chat Live.
Oh, hi, Melinda. I'm very happy to be here tonight.
Well, I'm excited to have you. Your husband sent me the most beautiful email about you, and he said, "You have to interview my wife." And I'm like, all right, let's do it. He told me how awesome you are and how you have this great book, Menopause Millionaire, coming out soon. And so I said, hey, let's do it, because I think, small businesses need to be thinking about this issue. So thank you, and welcome so much for you to be on. So tell me, do you think that small business owners have the wrong attitude about money?
Well, that is a very loaded question. The real answer is yes and no, because some of the attitudes that a small business owner needs for success is things like optimism and really ready to take a risk and move forward. And the thing is that very optimism, when you're in the last half of life, can lead you to actually lose money, invest it into something just based upon your optimism, and perhaps lose money that might have been available for retirement. So it's a time, I believe, to look at what your attitudes are, the results that you've gotten so far, and adjust them so you can have the second half of life that you'd like.
All right. So what if you didn't start your business until your 40s? And let's say you cashed out your 401k to really launch your business. How do you prepare for retirement when you kind of did that? Like, where do you start?
Well, since people can start all kinds of businesses, and cashing out your 401k may not be what I would suggest, because you save that over a period of time and it has the opportunity to grow. However, if that's the position that you're in, I'd say really listen to experts. It's very important that you grow your business. You have time, and many people are waiting till they're 70 and beyond to retire. So that gives you 30 years. You started in your 40s. So that is enough time, but you have to be aware of that time, and maybe a little extra urgency in making that business successful sooner.
Okay. Yeah, well, we all want to be a success, but it doesn't always happen. And but let's talk about women business owners for a second. 88% of women business owners don't even do 100,000 in revenue. I mean, that's a nationwide statistic. So, how do they find money to set aside for retirement when they're like, they're barely, their head is barely above water trying to, run their business. I mean, a lot of them have basically created jobbies for themselves, as opposed to an actual business. So what would you tell someone in that position?
Well, we need to find the money from somewhere. And one of the things I would look at, people sometimes, especially business owners, ignore Social Security. And yet making sure that you have put enough in to collect from Social Security can be one way to make sure there is something there for retirement. What people don't realize is that the max of Social Security right now is around $3,500 a month. Now that's if you've maxed it out and you've waited till over 70. But you can have some money there. And if you've gotten used to a minimal budget, then perhaps your need is not as much. So check your Social Security first and do just like you did. If you had a job, you would have put aside a little bit out of every paycheck. It may not seem like a huge amount, but 5-10% would be ideal. Take 10% out and put that aside. You will build up over time.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So you call yourself the Menopause Millionaire. Tell me what that is. What does that mean?
Well, what I realized is by the midpoint of life, pretty much every woman has already been a millionaire. In other words, had $1 million pass through your fingers. And between then and the end of life, you'll probably need another million or more. The idea of being wealthy with $1 million, I think, is one to adjust a bit, because everybody has handled $1 million. And I live in California. And I tell you, in California, $1 million does not buy you a mansion. It buys you a nice, but perhaps modest house.
Wow. Okay. So California is not the place to retire to for sure. Sounds like it. So, all right. So, what about some business owners planning to sell their business to fund their retirement? How realistic is that?
The biggest thing a business owner needs to ask themselves if they want to sell the business is, how does it operate without them? A true business that can operate without the owner can be worth far more. The other thing I see is not planning ahead. If you start at 50, thinking you're going to sell your business, and you look at perhaps the business partners that you have who might buy the business, you can get the most if you have a business that's already grown and it is ready to really to hand over to someone else. The least amount of money for a business is one in which you are doing most everything yourself, and you'll end up selling your business for the assets, which might be the cost of your computers and printers and other things, which can be quite minimal. There are plenty of folks who will talk to a business owner ahead of time to look through. You can get a business evaluation to give you a realistic idea of how much you can sell your business for. That'll help you with the planning.
Okay. And then the next question I want to ask you before we go to break is, okay, so how do you determine how much money you'll need in retirement?
That's where you have to stop and ask yourself where you want to retire. You have to look into your future a bit. As you said, if you retire in California, it's going to be a whole heck of a lot of money. I know plenty of Californians who have moved off to Arizona. I have some moving to New Orleans, Louisiana. And they're doing it because you can have a better quality of life with less money. Know that, and then you can start determining how much money you need for retirement.
You know, I actually read in a magazine recently that the number one place in America to retire to is actually Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, in terms of the cost of living and the tax benefits and how much house you can get for the money. It was actually in Oklahoma City, which I found kind of fascinating and interesting. Now, some of the considerations that you think you should be making at age 50, like around things other than money, what do you think those are?
That is to really look into yourself. It is to look at who you are. A woman at age 50 is seeing her role as a mother change as her children become adults. And she may not have stopped and said, what do I want after motherhood? And the same question, what do I want after my working days? Because it could be completely different. I've had people who wanted to live in other countries. This is the time to really say, do a deep dive and say, what do I want to accomplish? What do I want to be in the rest of my life?
That's a really good point. I think 50 is an interesting point for women and men, and especially business owners. Interestingly, though, the average age of a business owner in the United States is 49, not 29. So, sometimes people are just getting rolling in their business good at age 50. Well, you know what? I think that there's a lot of information and there's a lot of stuff out there. But, what kinds of tools do you suggest people look at if they are just getting started with their retirement planning?
First of all, check your Social Security. Just go to, ssa.gov and find out where you are. That's a good thing to know because that'll be one element of it. Then check any other assets that you have that could be building, such as real estate. Know what you have there. Really look at your assets. And then, as we've already discussed, look at the value of your business. See if that's something that you can build up, because that could very well be a retirement plan. But you need to have a clear succession plan in place and have it backed up by life insurance on people that are important to the business that would crash your plan if something happened. But yeah, look to experts. You have experts on this show. Look at how to increase the size of the business and continue to get advice from experts.
All right, good enough. Listen, when we come right back on Small Biz Chat, we're going to talk a little bit more with Carole about what women need to be thinking about heading into retirement. I'm Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady. You're watching Small Biz Chat, Small Biz Chat Live. Stay with us.
Are you tired of struggling in your business, not taking a paycheck, dreading dealing with your business in the morning? Are you regretting even starting your business in the first place? Well, I know you're tired, and I also remember what that kind of tired is like. But the good news is, it's time to stop feeling that way. Stop! I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady, and my new book, Fix Your Business, is a 90-day turnaround plan to get back your life and reduce chaos in your business. I've been in business nearly 20 years, and let me teach you how to build a business that works for you. Grab a copy today.
Welcome back to Small Biz Chat Live. I'm talking with Carole Hodges, who is a financial advisor and business coach, and she's going to talk to us about women and money and our issues related to money. So, Carole, thank you so much for being here. Should women borrow money to launch or grow a business? It seems to me that not enough of us do, but I want to know what you think about that.
I'd say absolutely yes. The reason why, you will have to go through more hoops in order to borrow money. Those are good hoops because anyone who's going to lend you money wants to know how they're going to get paid back. That may force you to create a solid business plan that you don't need to create if you just rated your 401k for the money. You have to do some work that is valid work. Sometimes we hate to do that. I know that as a mom, I learned how to put a safety pin in something and rig things up and just keep on going. And sometimes we can take those attitudes into a business. But if you ever watch Shark Tank, which I highly suggest for anybody who wants to grow a business, look at Shark Tank. And the questions they are asking are good questions to ask yourself. But if you can possibly borrow money, first of all, create a structure like a corporation, an S Corp, so that the liability is not totally in your name. You would like to borrow money in a corporate name. The reason why is they are going to look to the business in order to get the money back. There are times you can arrange that you are not personally liable, the corporation is liable. That can protect your home, that can protect your other assets. So borrow money, yes, do that if at all possible.
All right, so I'm a female business owner and my business is doing pretty good. Should my husband's name go on all my financial assets for my business?
That depends. If you have formed a corporation, then you may want him to be part of the corporation. If you are working just as a single business owner and you are liable for everything, you are opening up to both the rewards, but you're also opening them up to the liability. Make sure that you sit down with a good business attorney and understand the difference. A good CPA and attorney are vital so that you understand in your business how it's structured and both the benefits and the liability. It's just as easy to give your husband, if he's to participate, if something happens to you, it's just as easy to put him inside a will or trust.
Okay, and now let's say a woman business owner is doing very well and finds herself making more money than her husband or her partner. Um, how can like they manage that without the partner or husband feeling devalued because suddenly the wife is the main breadwinner in the home?
One idea is to separate the money. In other words, the business money is in the business. And as a business owner, you know you have expenses. You want to keep that money over there. You want to give yourself a salary and bring that home. And I think it's great. What my husband and I do is we each have our own separate bank accounts, but we put our money into the joint bank account that we decide together. And that can be a way to make sure that the money is in the right place for the decisions that are for both of you.
Okay. And then what are the best places to go to get advice about handling personal and business finances?
Look for good consultants, look for financial advisors. Financial advisors that have a background in working with businesses would be a good choice. And interview several so you have one that is a good fit that you can feel good and confident about.
Good enough. All right, we're gonna leave your last word there, Carole Hodges. Thank you so much. I want you to stay with us because we're gonna bring you back because we are gonna have a panel at the end. But thank you so much for your valuable financial advice. I hope people were taking careful notes out there. I'm Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady. When we come right back, we're gonna be talking about peak performance with Delatorro McNeal. I'm the Small Biz Lady, and we'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. I'm Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady, and I want to invite you to enter the Small Biz Chat podcast giveaway contest for the next 30 days. Starting today, you'll have the chance to win amazing prizes if you subscribe to the podcast. All you need to do is take a screenshot after you subscribe to the Small Biz Chat podcast and tag me, Small Biz Lady, on Twitter or Instagram. Once a week, I'll select a winner, and you have a chance to win one of my autographed books, Become Your Own Boss in 12 Months, or Fix Your Business, or you might even get a chance to win one of my limited edition Small Biz Chat podcast t-shirts. Don't delay. Subscribe to the Small Biz Chat podcast today.
Welcome back to Small Biz Chat Live. I'm Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady, and we are so excited now. This is our first show of the new year, and so we had to talk about peak performance. And so I'm so excited to have my next guest here with us. His name is Delatorro McNeal II. He is a peak performance expert and a renowned public speaker and best-selling author of 7 books and has over a dozen personal and professional development courses. He's ranked as one of the best motivational speakers in the world, and he's best known for his life transforming live events, including Crush the Stage, Speaking Business Mastery, and the Full Throttle Experience. Delatorro, welcome to
Melinda, it's a tremendous honor to be here with you. I'm so excited. We're gonna have an awesome time.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to get rolling. So it's the top of the year, new decade. You have some advice that kind of goes against the grain of what everybody's saying to do this year. Let's talk about that.
Absolutely. You know, everybody comes into the new year and they're just like, go, 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 make all this stuff happen, et cetera, et cetera. And the truth is, there's not a month between December and January. I know that we all wish that there was, but there's not a month in between December and January. So the first thing that I really like to encourage everyone to do in the month of January, instead of adding all this stuff to your list of what you want to accomplish and achieve, the first thing that you need to do is empty the trash. Get rid of everything on your plate that no longer fits, that's no longer relevant, that's no longer important. That's projects, that's ideas, that's concepts, that's individuals sometimes, that's tasks. That's really make room for your next level. Everybody wants next level, next level, next level. The problem is the reason why so many people revert right back to their old habits whenever they set resolutions and all these things is because they never took the time first to actually clear their plate of stuff that doesn't belong and doesn't fit anymore before they add a bunch of other stuff. So I'm going kind of against the grain. Right now, everybody's like, oh, go, go, do. And and the people that I coach, I'm telling everybody, take a few moments and really figure out what no longer belongs, what no longer fits, what no longer makes sense in your agenda, in your day, in your life, in your schedule, and get rid of all that stuff so that you actually have room for all the new things that you want.
All right. So given that, okay, you want us to empty the trash can. All right, I got that. So all right, so then what are your peak performance tips for 2020? Because after I do that, then what? Okay, Delatorro, what do I do now?
So once you've done that, first thing you need to do is pace yourself. This is 2020. It's 12 months, not one. So at the end of the day, most people pack so much stuff in the first month, or the first quarter, that they don't realize that at the end of the day, you got just like what was said earlier, you got to give things some time to develop. Every tree and every plant grows roots first. And so oftentimes we're so moving so quickly and so fast that if we don't see a result tomorrow, we quit it and we go on to something else, right? So the first thing is pace yourself. Really give yourself, instead of saying, okay, well, my podcast has to come out tomorrow. What if you say, okay, let me give myself a 30-day launch strategy, right? Before you say, okay, hey, my book's got to be out in 25 days. Why don't you say, okay, let me give myself a 60-day ramp up? Because what I see a lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners and career professionals do is that we cram everything in without really giving ourselves, okay, I get it. You want to lose 40 pounds. Can we lose 40 pounds over the next 3 months instead of in January? Everybody puts all this energy into this 1 month and they don't give themselves a chance to really pace things out. So the first thing that I want to encourage everyone to do is pace yourself. That's really, really important. Number 2, understand that less is more. I would rather you drink 3 bottles of water every single day for 30 days than drink a gallon of water, right, for the first week and then you quit. So the key is consistency. And so many times we're not being consistent. We're gung-ho and we're excited. And so we go to the gym for the first 3 weeks and we go for like 3 hours at a time. We're like, I'm killing it, right? And then you hit burnout, right? I'd rather you go to the gym for 30 minutes, 3 times a week for 60 days straight, right? Rather than go for 3 hours those first couple and then you burn out fast. So less is more. Really kind of scale back and say, how can I pick something that is going to allow me to be consistent versus going all in and doing all this crazy stuff that you cannot be consistent with over a long period of time. The third quick tip is execute first and feel second. So many times we don't understand the true psychology of motivation. While motivation is the cause of action, motivation is also the result of action. Every one of us has had that morning where we said we were going to work out and we get up and we don't feel like working out. Because the truth is, Your brain psychology follows physiology. How many of y'all have ever had that time where you didn't feel like working out, but you put the sneakers on and you got out there and you started jogging, you started exercising? About 15, 20 minutes into your workout, your brain finally catches up to what your body's doing and you want to be out there exercising. So the truth is, execute first, feel second. Sometimes you don't feel like going out on date night with your significant other, boo, or it's complicated. Go ahead and go out on the date first. By the time you get out there and you get around other couples and you start dancing and enjoying the lounge or the music, all of a sudden you're going to feel like what you did. So execute first and feel second, and you'll get 10 times more done.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, let's stay with that. So staying motivated is people's big issue, particularly if you're a self-employed person and you work alone, like you're a solopreneur working out of the back bedroom of your house. Tell me, how can you develop, some personal motivation? Like what is your top tip for that?
Several things. First of all, whatever it is that you, oh, I love this one. Whatever it is that you really want to do, declare it. Speak it into the atmosphere. Actually go on Facebook Live or go on Instagram and actually decree and declare whatever your goal is. Because the moment I coach a lot of authors and speakers, and I tell them, I say, listen, you want to know what's going to make you write your book? Public pressure, right? So declare the thing that you want to do. Put it out of your mouth and actually put it in the atmosphere. So whatever that thing is, let's say whatever it is, whatever your goal is, just go ahead and decree that live and say, hey guys, this is one thing I'm working on. And I would love it if you guys would hold me accountable. Send me an inbox or a direct message or a comment every now and again and check on me, et cetera, et cetera. Let's say you want to train for a Spartan race, right? And you're going to do it in 6 months. Go ahead and put that declaration out there. And by doing that, now you've got a whole community of people who are going to encourage you and kind of support you along your journey. And by decreeing it out there, all of a sudden, it kind of holds you accountable at a different level. That's number one. Another thing is, especially if you're a solopreneur, start going to like WeWork spaces or shared spaces where entrepreneurs get together, little hubs, incubators, where you can just kind of work or go to Panera Bread or go to Starbucks, make a decision, make a commitment to at least twice a week, work away from your home, right? Work away from that space that you're familiar, away your bedroom, wherever it is that you're doing what you do. Find a way to get around people, because that's one of the things that really kind of keeps entrepreneurs and solopreneurs kind of isolated, is we have home offices, so we don't get that opportunity to really get out as much. So I would highly recommend that you get out, WeWork spaces, shared spaces, incubator spaces, and get around other human beings. It's really, really beneficial.
All right. So what about, helping people operate at their peak, right? It's one thing to say motivated. Okay, I'm going to tell everybody, hey, I'm thinking about a new book. I'm not going to tell you guys what I'm thinking about writing, but I'm thinking about a new book, right? But okay, but how do I get my peak performance? How do I turn that into, okay, I got public pressure, I got this, but how do I operate at my best in order to execute the things I have to execute?
Couple things that'd be helpful for that. Number one, see your goal, right? One of the things that I encourage all authors to do is, before you really get started writing your book, go ahead and get the cover designed so you can see it every day. It's amazing how much we have motivation and drive to make something happen once we can see it. I say this all the time. You got to see it before you see it, or you'll never see it, right? I'll say that again. You got to see it before you see it, or you'll never see it. So whatever it is that you want, kind of put it on your vision board and put it in a place where you're going to see it on a daily basis. I encourage everybody, put your vision board on the other side of your toilet, so that way, at least every day you're going to spend a few minutes, right, in the restroom, and you can see what you want right in front of you. Number two, baby steps. Take whatever it is that you want to do and find a way to chop it up into very, very small pieces. Because one of the number one reasons why most people don't achieve a goal or a vision that they have, or an aspiration, is because of task complexity. At the end of the day, they get overwhelmed too quickly. So the best way to not get overwhelmed is to chop that hush puppy up into, I said it's a hush puppy, that's one of my words, chop it up into baby steps, small incremental things that you can do on a regular basis that really helps you feel that sense of accomplishment on a regular basis. That's another one that's really important. And then number three, master a daily routine. I can tell how badly you want something if I can see what your daily routine looks like. If you go to a kid who's really good at Xbox, you ask them how often they play. Every day. If you go to someone who's really masterful in their finances, you ask them how often do they look at the market? They say every day. You see someone who's super fit in their physical body, ask them how often they work out or exercise or do cardio. They say every day. At the end of the day, the secret to our success or failure is hidden in what we're doing daily. So if we can find a way, a micro way, to take small action on a daily basis on what we're trying to do, we'll get 10 times more done.
All right. And here is your last question. I want to make it a good one. Um, how can you talk about performance beyond gold? What does that mean, and how does it apply to all of us?
See, I believe that life gives us one open invitation every single day, and it comes in the form of a question. Will you be better today than you were yesterday? Will you make the daily decision to better your best? Performance beyond gold is our ability to every single day incrementally top ourselves. So one of the things that I encourage every organization, every corporation, when I speak to associations and corporations and conventions, my challenge is get 1% better every single day. Performance beyond gold is take it beyond that gold level of performance, because as high achievers, we can achieve the gold medal almost every day with our eyes closed because we're high achievers. And many of us are overachievers. We can outperform the people around us with our hands tied behind our back. So it's not about getting the gold medal anymore. Now it's about how can you take it to that next level? And the next level is getting 1% better in one area of your life that you care about every single day.
All right. Get 1% better in one area of your life every day. So is that good for personal life and professional life?
Absolutely. Get 1% better at forgiving. Get 1% more patient with your children. Get 1% better at being authentic with what you need in your relationship. Get 1% better at actually waving at your neighbor instead of just putting your car in the garage and shutting the door, right? It works in your personal life and your professional life. At the end of the day, if you can make a decision every morning, I'm going to get 1% better today, then man, look where you're going to be in 30 days.
I love that.
Yay!
I love that. Yay. All right, Delatorro, listen, you have motivated me. Like, I feel better. Like, I can do 1% better next month. We'll see. All right. Listen, I want you to stay right there, and we're going to bring back Carole, and we're going to bring back Naly, because now it is time for us to do our famous hit it and quit it panel. So let me tell you how this is going to work. I'm going to ask each of you the exact same question. Now, here's our rule. You have to answer in 30 seconds or less, and you cannot repeat the answer of someone else. If someone takes your answer, you better give me another answer, okay? All right, everybody hear me? Everybody know how this works? Because if you go over 30 seconds, we're going to give you the cowbell. That's not going to be good for you. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to ding anybody, but we want to have it be a little bit fun. You know, all these interview shows, they can get a little boring, but we don't do that over here on Small Biz Chat Live. We want to know some extra special little insight about you. So Delatorro, you just finished talking, so we're going to let you think about your answer. So Naly, we're coming to you first with the very first question. Here it is. I want you to share your favorite podcast. What is your favorite podcast that you're listening to right now?
Right now I'm listening to Best Friends. It's pretty good. It's just the daily nitty-gritty, funny conversations, and it's very lighthearted.
Okay. Now, do you tend to listen to it morning, evening, drive time? When do you listen to it?
I mostly listen to it in the evenings. Yeah.
Okay.
That's when I get my little funny bone in.
All right. Well, that's a great way to detox from a crazy day. All right, Carole, what is your favorite podcast that you like to listen to?
I have to admit that I don't listen to that many podcasts, but what I do listen to is Audible books. I listen to them on my drive time and very much love that.
All right. So Audible, that's your favorite podcast. So you just pick a book and get on the road. I love it. All right, Delatorro, what is your favorite podcast?
Currently, my favorite podcast is The Wealthy Speaker by Jane Atkinson, who
We
is
love Jane. We had Jane on our show actually last month. She's awesome.
She's super awesome. Yeah. So I enjoy her insights and her guests on the Wealthy Speakers podcast.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, that's good. All right. So the next question, Carole, I'm going to come to you first. What is your favorite business app? What is your favorite business app? So I'm going to go Carole, Delatorro, and Naly. You get to go last this time. So what's your favorite app?
I like to simplify. And for me, it's just getting my emails on my phone so that I have a connection to people.
So do you use Gmail? Do you use Outlook? What do you use for email?
I use both. I use Blue Box and I use Gmail.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Delatorro, what is your favorite business app?
You're gonna laugh at me, but because I do a lot of coaching, right now my favorite business app is Marco Polo. It's like video, it's like video texting, but I love it because it's quick, it's simple. I don't have to text as much, and I have all of my coaching clients in Marco Polo, and I can shoot them a quick message of inspiration, of encouragement, et cetera, et cetera. If they have any challenges, they can send me a message back, and I can see their nonverbals, and that allows me to kind of speak to where they're at in the moment. It's kind of like Voxer, but it's with video, and that's what I love about Marco Polo. So that's what I'm rocking right now.
I actually really like Marco Polo too, but interestingly enough, I use Marco Polo to communicate with my siblings.
See, and I do that
I
too. I
need
have
to
my kids
quickly
in it.
tell you something.
I have family in it as well. Absolutely. But I
They're
definitely
horrible
do
at
for
checking
business.
voicemail, so I use Marco Polo to talk to my brothers. Sidebar. Anyway, all right. Nally, what is your favorite business app?
Google Drive. I pretty much live in Google Drive. Every single one. Google Slides, Google Sheets. I mean, the entire business runs on Google. So I actually need to take a step back away from that a little bit, get a little breather.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, my favorite business app is actually Dropbox. I'm a Dropbox girl. I love being able to operate from any computer I want to get on. I can log into Dropbox and pull my stuff down. So I'm a Dropbox girl through and through. All right, Carole, this first question is coming to you. What is your favorite old school marketing tip? Favorite old school marketing tip. So this time I'll go Carole, Nally, and then Delatorro. You'll have the last word on this one.
My favorite is reach out and touch 5 people every day. And to me, in person is great, but do 5 new people on LinkedIn, on Facebook, some way, reach 5 new people every day.
I love it. I love it. And my favorite thing is actually reaching 5 people, but I reach them on the phone because I believe magic happens over the phone. So I love to try to talk to people human to human. Delatorro, or did I tell you get to go last this time? All right, Nally, we're going to you. Nally, what's your favorite old school marketing tip?
My favorite old school marketing tip is just to keep it word of mouth, to be so good that the person that you're standing right next to will tell their friend, and just put your focus on that one person, focus on that one conversation only.
I like it. I like it. Word of mouth referrals. Doesn't get any better than that. All right, Delatorro, last word for you.
Good
What
old
is
fashioned follow-up thank you notes, handwritten follow-up thank you notes.
yes.
Actually taking the time when you come back from an engagement and actually writing a handwritten thank you note to the client, putting an old-fashioned stamp on it, writing the address on it, and put it in the mailbox, because now everything's so social media and email that people don't get much physical mail anymore. So going back old school and those handwritten thank you notes, I think that's fire. I think that never goes out.
I love it. I love it. And that's one of my favorite ones too. All right, last question, guys. What is your favorite business book? Nally, I'm coming to you first. What is your favorite business book?
It's not really a business book. I guess a lot of entrepreneurs would read it, but it's Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. It's really great. It helps to really keep things into perspective, and it really has become a daily ritual for me to read an excerpt from Meditations.
I love that book too. Good stuff. All right, Delatorro, what's your favorite business book?
Well, the book I'm reading right now that I'm really, really enjoying is called Profit First by Mike Michalowicz.
Mike Michalowicz, yes, yes. My college classmate, Mike Michalowicz, yes.
So I'm really enjoying that book right now. Fantastic read.
Good stuff. And Carole, what is your favorite business book?
Well, the book that I'm reading right now is Mary McNally, What's in the Way is the Way. And it's a spiritual book, but it's really about being where you are, being present and growing. And I think that's a vital attitude toward any, well, as a human being and as a business person.
I love it. I love it. That sounds like a great book. And my favorite business book of all time is The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, which is
I love it.
my favorite business book
I love that book.
of all time. So, I would be remiss if I did not mention that. Well, listen, you guys, thank you so much for being here with me on Small Biz Chat Live. Believe it or not, our time is up. Thank you so much again to my guests, Naly Rice, Carole Hodges, and Delatorro McNeal the second. I appreciate you all so very much. And you know, we do Small Biz Chat because our mission here is to end small business failure. And I will leave you with this. You never lose in business. Either you win or you learn. God bless everybody. Good night.